Hello and welcome to another video on how to become a business consulting freelancer. So what I'm going to do in this video is again make a quick recap of the entire course from the section 1 on getting started getting started building a freelance consulting career. So that's one. Okay. In there well I look at what are the tasks that a consultant does, conduct a research, analyze the data, and then present the results, as well as the benefit of choosing this lifestyle or this career. So what are the the benefits, and the fundamentals of a uh, consulting success, right? Which is cash flow, the ability to earn a money based on the value you provide, so cash flow, security by having multiple clients where you can provide your value, and the flexibility that these lifestyles give you, where now you have much more control of your time and you can set your own schedules, right? Another is the mistake to avoid is choosing a not in demand service and not treating your consulting service as a legitimate business. Very, very important. Very, very important. And from there, then I look at how to get paid the most for your expertise and advice. Is before craft an offer, choose a niche that is already on demand, that you have interest in, and then start with them, focus on over delivery of value, because it's your job and your job alone to hone into that specific niche and develop a rock star solid offer backed by your reputation, because no one is obligated you to pay for whatever thing you offer, right? So this is the fundamentals, right? So first is the fundamental of the consulting, the fundamental of a consulting business, as well as the how to earn the most from your consultation, okay? And then look at some tools that allow you or to identify the type of consulting. Okay, this is something important, part of the fundamental. That's the reason why I'm doing this recap. Okay, so once I have this mental framework, well, I can now think of that and access quickly this information. From there, start to do the thing, right? So the first section here on getting started building a consulting career is that first understand what are the tasks that a consultant does. Conduct a research, analyze the data, and then present the results. And also the fundamentals of consulting success, which is that you're gonna have cash flow based on the value that you can provide, as well as the flexibility that this lifestyle gives you, because now you can set your own schedule, as well as the security, because now you have multiple clients where you can provide value and earn and have an inflow of cash inflow. And also how to earn the most for your consulting and your suggestions, okay, is based on the value you provide. But for that, well, you need to first look at a niche that is already in demand and that you have some interest in, that you have interest in, and before craft an offer. And from there is where you're going to focus on over delivering on value, because no one is obligated to hire you as a consultant And it's your job and your job alone to hone into that specific niche, develop a rockstar solid offer backed by your reputation. And then, mistake to avoid, especially to the on the foundation of the consulting success is like not taking care your consulting seriously and choosing a niche that is not in demand. Very, very, very important. Very, 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 very important. So with that, okay. Uh, so then I look at, well, what are the most common type of projects? So you have the strategic projects where you get hired for developing roadmap and strategy to implement based on the problems the client is facing. So you have these strategic projects improvement, which is based on your recommendations. You're going to mention is what certain areas of business operation can be improved. Okay, and the implementation, which is well based on your suggestions and observations as well as your recommendations. Now it's time to put that at practice. Okay, so that's one of the things that most freelancer, most consulting actually fail to do that, because okay, they are great of outlining strategies, make some improvement, but ultimately when it comes to implementation, it's like uh, you know what I mean? It's like and so that's great. Okay, so that's great to refresh and to recap. So the fundamental of consulting. So first, what are the tasks that a consultant does? The fundamental of a consulting, which is the cash flow, flexibility, and security. The mistake to avoid uh, from based on this fundamental of consulting, which is not choosing a service that is on demand, which is I must admit that I made that error. Okay, by choosing its only view, and I know, I'm doing that error, but because I'm especially with view, well, I can find a better niche to that, which is after all that's what I want. It's just a a tiny portion of that, a tiny slide from that, and then develop your own personal brand or your consultation service, that kind of thing. Cool. And the other mistake to avoid is uh, not taking your business seriously. Not taking your business seriously. So, so this is the so first is the task that a consultant does, the fundamental of consulting, as well as the how to earn the most from your suggestions, expertise, and recommendation, right? And this is well. So before crafting an offer, choose a niche that is in demand and you have some interest in that. You have interest in there, and then focus on over delivery value, because no one is obligated to hire you, and it's your job and your job alone to hone into that specific niche and develop a rockstar solid offer backed by your reputation. Okay. And then I look at some tips that allow you to improve your consultations, like find a way to get into the zone, eliminate distractions, use some Pomodoro techniques to deep focus on the task or in the learning process or whatever task that you want to perform. Okay, deep focus on that. Uh, as well as mhm, uh, as well as don't forget to take breaks from that. So, lastly but not least, when it comes to decision making, it is important to use the Eisenhower matrix for things that are important and urgent. Do that today. Things that are important but not urgent, schedule. Things that are important that are urgent but not important, delegate. And ultimately, things that are not important or urgent, you don't even think about it, right? So again, well, because with that, uh, then I look at the section 2, which is how to get started as a freelance consultant. And that is first identify your strength and weakness. So capitalize on your strengths. So in my case, my strengths or your strengths are things that you have interest, experience, uh, um, yeah, your strengths can be summarized in that. It's like uh, your strengths. Okay, so your strengths are areas in which you excel, you have experience, or you have some interest. Okay, uh, in your weakness. Okay, so in my case, like I identify my strengths right now, like in the case of hard skill, when it comes to software, web development using JavaScript and TypeScript. Okay, along with Vue and Node, and also some other technologies for the front end, the back end, the database, how you can create containers to containerize your application where you can ship that anywhere on the internet, so regardless the service provider, uh, as well as how to improve the performance of this, whether it's using cluster or workers, as well as the ways so you can secure your applications and authenticate and authorize that. And then how you can make co-integration when it comes to do that with different developers, okay? As well as how you continuous deploy, continuous integration, continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment. All right, using for example GitHub Actions for that, which is follow a YAML file format. That's just to go into technical in that, and understand the subtle difference when it comes to containerize your applications between the Docker and the virtual machines, and understand their infrastructure, okay, or the architecture. What is the solution they provide? What it is trade-off, and some new tools that you can use for particular use case like GraphQL when it comes to underfetching or overfetching problems. How you can build a GraphQL server from scratch. What are the components of that? As well as the operations you can do. And with all of that, okay, with all of that, so with all of that, this is the hard scale, okay, when it comes to Node and Vue, and also my interest or things that I excel or that have interest or experience is, well, the fitness lately. So the fitness as well as the this is more my interest, right? Which is fitness, finance, and technology. These three aspects. Uh, Again, there's a lot of other things that I would like to include, like music and comedy, politics, history. So because all of these are very, very closely related, you can do you can separate one from the another. If you want to study that, that's completely different, but they are highly related, man. It is a huge constellation of faculties and facts. Uh, so this, in any case, the TLDR. So in the section 2 is first identify your strengths, things that you excel and have interest, as well as have experience. Okay, so in my case is my hard skills are very limited to the software web development. Okay, JavaScript, TypeScript, and JavaScript runtimes like Node and also Dino, but here is with Node. So with Node as well as with Vue for the front end and all the tech, the tech stack that I mentioned before. And when it comes to my weakness is, well, to improve my communication skills, my soft skills, to understand that. Visualization tools, not at all. Actually, that's not my weakness. It was that back then. And the data structure in an algorithm applies kind of my weakness. I must admit. I must admit. So, he mentioned that capitalize on your strength in order to get the most success for that. And also identify your working style. So it can be teaching and training, it can be one-on-one or specialized service. So because doing this specialized service like this is something that is a great way at least to start, and you can then move on to teaching and training. So okay. And when it comes to so once you identify your strengths and weakness, your working style, as well as protect your business at all costs, okay? Now, then I look at choose a profitable niche. Again, this is all about the getting started as a business consulting freelancer. Once you know the fundamental of building a consulting career. Okay, when it comes to the consulting or how to getting started as a consultant, okay, yeah. So when it comes to so when it comes to choose now when it comes to is getting started as a freelance consulting career, first identify your strengths and weakness, and then your working style, whether it's teaching or training, one-on-one consultation, or a specialized service. I'm choosing here a specialized service here. Uh, uh, yeah, that's something that is not scalable, I must admit. I must admit, but at least to gain some portion of that, and then you can switch to the training and teaching. Cool. So with that, all right. Um, so with that, uh, I also look well at the okay. So choosing a niche, and it's important to recognize that a niche is not a keyword. Niche is a group of people that they have a large problem to solve. They're actively looking for a solution. There are people that are willing to pay for the solution, and ultimately it must have something that you have interest in. So also a mistake to avoid when choosing a niche, which is you're gonna start with a niche forever, that you're targeting multiple niches at once, which is kind of the thing that happens to me as well in my case. So that's the reason why I shrink those niche to 3, okay, and no more. It's like, god damn it, fuck that, this is it. Uh, and okay, so after you choose your niche, okay, now it is time to establish a platform. Choose or align yourself with a particular platform, okay, which is something that they do here. Okay, mentioning all of this, okay. The mistake to avoid and align yourself with a platform is like when you're able to provide consulting service for an established platform, you're able to become a specialist, which is kind of the thing that I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm aligning myself with a platform because once you specialize to a particular or an established platform, you can become a specialist in that area. Okay, so specialist versus generalist, and the point here is to being perceived as someone that is look as a professional, right? Uh, and again, do the work. Period. So align yourself with a platform, okay, that is already on demand and allow you to become a specialist. Okay, so if we're not seen as more expert than our competition, then we will be viewed as one in a sea of many, and we will have little power in our relationship with our clients and prospect. So once you know that, so align yourself with a particular niche, uh, or align yourself with a particular platform, because at the end of the day, it is important that you choose a platform that is already on demand, because that will create your credibility and your reputation based on that. And the mistake to avoid, especially when aligning yourself with a platform, is like targeting multiple platform at the same time. No, so choosing a platform in which that is not in demand. This is another error here. And going with a platform you don't enjoy using. So with that, okay, so once you look at this in the section 2, the getting started as a consulting freelancer, that is identify your strength and weakness, and then uh, choose your working style, whether it's teaching and training, one-on-one consultations, or a specialized service. Now it's time to look at the niche, the importance of the niche, uh, and align yourself with a particular platform, because that will give you the most from that. And once you do that, now it's time to create your offer. Okay, now it's time to create your offer, and that is, well, my outline is keep in mind that more does not mean equal, and the client is paying ultimately for the value you provide, not your time. Okay, very, very important here, especially when you're creating your niche. And to make things more simple for yourself, for example, if you have to give in a few sentences what your company is going to do, okay, or what are the services that you provide, is create a value statement that For example, if you are in an elevator, so you get in an elevator, and now it is time to pitch your you do your sales pitch, right? Do your sales pitch. Um, well, so now it's time to create this value statement, okay? And once you do that, this value statement, it is important to well understand is the scope of the work. Meaning is define clear deliverables, as well as how success is going to be measured, and be huge in communication. And remember that one great offer or one great offering is not just only based on one, it's based on a value offering, right? So when it comes to uh, identify that, so they understand the scope of the work, all right? In the value ladder that allows you to create is this multiple series of offering consultation for free to understand if you are able to provide the value that the client is seeking for. If you are and the client wants to work with you, then you can push the client up the value ladder, meaning, let's say you are charging them $500 for a consulting project, and then if the clients like your work, you can push up the value ladder with, let's say, 10-hour package. And the end goal of this is to have recurring client, which is the end goal or the holy grail of all business consulting. Have recurring clients, because you want to escape from the clock. So successful consultants have this recurring clients where they pay for the service on a monthly basis. And also remember to create is a service agreement. Okay, this will make you look more professional, where you're going to outline things like and the service agreement is like the project overview, project timeline. So project overview, scope of the work, project timeline, compensations, terms and terminations, and agreement. Okay, so this is the couple or the different terms. How do I put it? This is the different topics that you will have in this service agreement. Okay, so project overview, project overview, scope of the work, project timeline. So project overview, scope of the work, project timeline, terms and terminations, compensations, and agreement. Okay, so in conclusion is now it is time to get some real feedback from that, and that lead us is to the section 3, which is how to find and land high paying consulting clients. So first, it's important to note that there's some couple mistakes to avoid, especially when starting out, which is focus too much in building a website. And the other is running pay ads, as well as running pay ads, building a website, and not focusing on your skills. 3 mistakes to avoid, especially when you want to find and land high-paying consulting clients. Okay, which is focus too much on the website. You're not getting is the clients by doing that. Uh, so pay running ads. So you're gonna run out of money very very shortly, and not focusing on your skills. So different places where you can find clients, Upwork or these online platforms where you can find clients. Upwork is one of them. Your existing network. In my case, this is very contextual because if you live in third world countries, like your network is your network, and that actually is very very hard to do that. So TLDR is, you know what, be the first person of value in your. Uh, as well as the not focusing on your skills, right? So when it comes to fine line high pay consulting clients, it's Upwork or your existing network or employment side. This actually doesn't align 100% to freelance work, but it can help you to give some momentum as you work your way to that. So down the line, you can then shift to that, which is most of the time that's what people actually end up doing. Okay. Okay. And also I look at some consultation tips for land high paying consulting clients, like show your face and remember that this is a numbers game. Okay. Uh, some consultation sell tips to find land more client is like be an active listener. You want is to read the body language and their facial expression. Perhaps the client is not telling you the truth. You have to read between lines. Okay. You have to read between lines. Yeah, completely. So you have to read between lines and understand what the client actually wants. Okay, so the more you're able to look at what they say, see their body language, the more able, even though when they put this kind of thing, is now not in a defensive position. Okay, it actually is to listen more. Okay, uh, do that. So do that in a very active listener way. Uh, so be an active listener. Use speed. Use solution selling process. Something I'm going to talk about that later. And add free value. That doesn't mean to work for the client for free. This actually provide is value. Go above and beyond of that. And when it comes to the solution selling process, which this diagnose the prospect or sale leads, clients, needs and opportunities based on the challenge they're facing, and you provide a solution to that. Again, this works very well for a client that need a tailored solution for that. So, meaning that for things that sells out of the shelf, it won't work. So, for example, any commodities, like that actually doesn't work. Okay, because people can grab that, pay that, take care, bye bye. And uh, this solution selling process follows a particular pattern, right? It's like do the journey prospect. This is when you find the right clients, Okay, do the journey prospect, uh, find the right client, start to reach out to them, try to get in front of them to get their attention. All right, and then you qualify them, okay, and see which one of them are likely to work with you, or which are you are a good fit for them as well. And then you do some video and video presentation. This is to do even more fact findings about the clients, and if you're able to provide the value that the client is looking for, as well as tell them, hey, are we gonna move on with this project, or is this gonna end right there so I can move on to the next project? All right. So with that, so with that, um, so once you, so once the client wants to work with you, to collaborate with you, and it tells you, hey, send me some information more about this. This is when you add value. You outline your different pricings and options, and you use all of your expertise based on that. Now, there are also uh, some things to do after you reach some sort of agreement with the client, and that is, okay, now it is time to secure the payment, which is this, right? So especially, so once you are yeah, once you reach, so the once you reach to some sort of agreement with the client, okay, uh, yeah, especially once you reach to agreement with the client, so tackle all of objections. uh, so now it's time to secure payments, and that is, get the service agreement signed, secure payment options, whether it's hourly or quarterly or milestone. Okay. For example, if for is based on milestone, you might say, "Hey, I will need to charge you 50% before doing something else, or doing or before moving on." Okay. Uh, okay. And then and then uh, so once I look at the consultation service, I mean the solution selling process, and once you tackle all objections, and the client decide to work with you, well, it is time to secure the payment by presenting is the uh, service agreement, okay, and then secure the payment option, as well as and ultimately is when you going to provide your consultation or provide your consulting. So lastly, but not least from this model is, well, how to invoice your client, and that is okay. Uh, whether it's from platform invoice like Upwork, Freelance, and PayPal that actually do that for you. PayPal Note, I mean, this is for invoice platforms like Upwork, Freelance, or Fiverr, or personal invoice like Soho Books, QuickBooks, or PayPal. Okay, and with that, then is now you reach to the end goal of the entire business consulting, which is a scaling to multiple clients. So once you know how to find clients, you send the which is the kind of thing is here, right? So once you know how to, so once you land your first client, or once you so the next step you want to take in your consulting journey is, once you landed some additional clients, you know how to send service agreement, you know how to secure the payment clients, you started to have some progress. Now it is time to scale that to multiple clients. So that's the ultimate goal of business, right? Because refers are equal to love, and love everything you do, especially in your business. So with the customer relationship management like this, uh, track every interaction that you have on any sale leads in your CRM, and don't forget to repeat this process, because here you're building is your reputation. But this last section here, so after that, scaling to multiple consulting clients, which is the end goal of this. Okay? So once you know how to find clients, once you know how to find and land some clients, you have send them the service agreement. Yeah, you know how to send service agreement. You know how to secure payments. You start to have some progress. Now it is time to scale your business, because that's the ultimate goal of this. Okay, so keywords here is like, once you know you landed, so find and land high paying consulting clients. You know how to send service agreement, you know how to secure payment. You started to have some progress. Now it is time to scale your business, which is the ultimate goal. Okay, all right. And remember, keep track of every interaction that you're having in your CRM, which will lead you to have more, to have more recurring clients, and ultimately repeat the entire process. All right, okay. That was pretty intense. And with that, that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye bye.